Hey, it's me, your podcast host, Seb. Just at the top of this episode this week to let you know that unfortunately we had a little bit of a problem with the recording. The file corrupted, so that was really fun. Luckily I do back up all of these recordings with just an iPhone, so unfortunately the quality of the recording this week is not great. But it is an incredibly good episode, so I wanted to put it out there. So my apologies, but I hope you enjoy it anyway. Hello and welcome to Won't Be Forgetting That, a podcast talking about all of the awkward and embarrassing moments of people working in the arts and entertainment industry. I'm your podcast host, Seb, and today we have a few guests. That's right, for the first time ever we have part of a troupe on with us. They are a high-level acrobatic troupe. They feature award-winning vocals and they are an inclusive and diverse circus show, Rouge. Woo! Yay! Beautiful. So we're going to be a bit higher energy than that for the rest of it. We're just going to go around really quickly as well if you want to introduce yourself. We can start on my right.
Yeah. I'm Christine Ibrahim and I'm a singer and aerialist in Rouge some of the time, and we also have Michaela Burgess as the other singer as well.
Past guest as well, but yeah, swapped her up for the better one. Don't tell her I said that.
Hello, my name's Paul. I do dance, sort of open the show, bit of clowning, and mid-level aerials.
No, very good.
You've got to manage expectations.
Yeah.
And MC as well, I'd say, would you?
Yeah.
Now,
Beginning at bookend.
oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
And
I'm Platts. I'm Rouge's technical manager, which means I'm their stage manager and I'm also their lighting designer, and I spend a lot of time on stage with these idiots as well.
do so much goddamn work as well.
Yeah, few hats.
Yeah, a few different hats,
Pretty
as they
busy
say in the
with this one.
business. So I think Rouge is probably the live show I've seen the most in my lifetime. It's 5 times now, probably. So I've seen it through like a load of different iterations. Fuck, it's good. Oh. Yeah?
Thanks, Seb.
Yeah, beautiful. You don't have to agree with that. Keeping praise on you whilst I'm weirdly sitting across. Again, we're in the yurt today, so yeah, sitting across from you in the yurt. But yeah, Far Out is a really impressive show. They did ask me to say this before we did the podcast, though, so that's out of the way. But also with the live performance, I mean, God, how many shows have you done now? Even just any idea?
We were trying to work that out recently.
Yeah, we were literally in the dressing room trying to work it out. It's well over 100.
Yeah. Because we were just sharing a dressing room, not dressing room, but we went to QPAC, and
It's a theatre up in Queensland.
Yeah.
and Hamilton was there as well when they had their
600th show.
600. They had balloons and everything, and we're like, oh, how many have we done?
It's coming, yeah.
We should work it out. And then we're like, yeah,
We should.
we should. It's like when you say to someone, we should catch up. You never do.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. But
No.
we've like 5 years worth of shows from you, Paul.
Yeah.
5 years, yeah. Is
Yeah.
that when it started back then as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Paul and so you've both been with it since the inception of it as well?
Yep.
Yeah, so yeah, opening acts.
Long
Yeah.
time.
Lots of people crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That's so
I don't know
impressive.
why we're so stupid and
Dunno.
paid.
Yeah.
We just can't get a job anywhere else.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
What if anyone's
Remember,
listening?
qualified.
Yeah, and you need stagehand or mid-level acrobat, then yeah, give us a shout.
We strive for mediocrity.
Yes. No,
But you
it's...
never quite get there.
I never
No.
quite get there.
It was just underneath. Low to middling. No, but again, it is an absolutely fantastic show. Nowhere near mediocre. I've seen a lot of shows and a lot of mediocre shows, and trust me, you're far above them.
Do you know what? Funny thing actually, Seb said to me when I was like, I'm going to teach some loads of shows.
Yeah.
Some of them might not be good. And he's like, I bloody love seeing shit shows.
Oh God, I've got to fucking edit that part out now. Also,
You learn more from shit shows than you do
Yeah.
from the good ones
it's
sometimes.
Car Crash TV, and this is a horrible thing to say. And if I am coming to see your show, it is not because it's shit. I will accidentally see a shit show. The ones I choose to go and see are the ones I want to see. Every now and again, you'll be like, oh, this is on, and I'm like, wow, I enjoyed that for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
And I should also just put a warning in. Paul and I go long way back. He will do a variation of my accent throughout this podcast. So any actual Scottish listeners, I apologise for, and anyone that
I don't know what. They wouldn't be offended. You're Irish.
Oh, my apologies. Sorry, I forget what island I'm from sometimes. But yes, so I can only apologise just Paul in general. And that also goes for if you meet him in real life. I do apologise. I apologise to the rest of you, the rest of Rouge that aren't here as well. I only apologise for Paul.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. But anyway, that's enough of me apologising. Let's get into some stories. So you've come with 1 million stories, which are all specifically from Rouge as well?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
all mine were, they're like quick fire, not quick fire, but like, yeah.
Yeah, and then even some Platts where you've been saying before that you were talking about accidentally lighting a sex show. So there's...
It has to go.
Yeah. Well, we'll get onto that.
Oh, we'll start off with some of the Rouge stuff. And then we get into the rude stuff. Yeah, there you go. That's a professional broadcaster for you right there. Do we want to make our way around then? Does everyone have their own specific stories, or is it group stories that we're wanting to tell each?
I also got sent some in from Jessie, who's if people have seen Rouge, she's the one that like does everything. She's the general, but she fuck me, she cannot speak on camera or a microphone or in general. But yeah,
Great person,
So
but fair enough. She's never allowed near a microphone.
No,
Over that.
so she sent me through her stories, but also hilariously, like she is known for being terrible with grammar, and it's just some of it. I'm like, these are just the wrong words. So I mean,
Oh, fantastic. Well, that can be added into her embarrassing stories as she can't speak English.
I
as
get
well.
busted custard. Is that a phrase?
No, I don't even know what that
I
means.
get busted custard. Yes.
It's like when someone comes.
Yeah.
So
I don't know,
what
maybe
happened to
that.
her on stage?
Yeah, I'm wondering.
But yeah,
Busted some custard.
Yeah.
Would you like to tell any of them first, or shall we try some of our own stories first off? This is just Paul scrolling through his phone now, so it's great to listen to.
I mean, it's
I start with the rope one.
Yes, let's do that.
So Chris Carlos created the Shibari Act, where
What is Shibari? We've had this explained on the podcast before as well. Michaela actually spoke about it, but for anyone that doesn't quite remember or isn't quite into the interesting stuff in life.
So it's now an erotic art where you tie someone up for sexual purposes, but I think it originated from when people used to be captured and they were high status. It was a respectful way to
Dating
tie
back
them rather
to
than
feudal
having-
Japan, I think it
Japan.
was.
Yeah.
Very impressive stuff as well. I'm blown
Yeah.
away by some of the stuff that they can do with it, but
It's a beautiful art form, and it's definitely got more of a space in the artistic community now, as well as being in the kink scene and being more normalised and accepted in mainstream, I guess.
yeah.
And so Chris had the idea during lockdown to tie up one of the singer in Rouge and suspend them on stage, which is a really beautiful act. It gets huge applause, way more than my singing aerial acts where I'm actually lifting my own body weight. So,
You're just getting lifted by ropes.
it's actually Platts usually.
Oh, really? There you go.
Yeah.
Bread eating, gelato eating, ass off the ground. Chris just anyway, so it's a wonderful act, works really well. However, as the singer, Chris is sitting, being all sexy, people calling out daddy to him, and he's
I
waiting.
think that was me the other night, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I thought you sounded familiar.
Yeah. Actually, man. Even if you just see him in the street
Yeah,
as
just
well.
when he's it's crossing the road. It's a good way to get his attention.
Yeah,
He
he
knows it's
appreciates
about
it, I'm
him.
sure, yeah.
And I walk on very sexy, sultry, and walk over, very different to how I am in real life. And then I turn to him, and it's at this point I realise I've forgotten the piece of rope that he's meant to tie me up with.
So yeah, Shibari is just ropes. I don't know how you improvise without a rope, but yeah.
I just turned around to him and I showed him my hands. I started thinking, I'm so tired. Like, put my hands up like I was at gunpoint. And he just looks at me and is like, where's the rope? Okay, he piss bolts off the stage at Queensland Performing Arts Centre, and I'm just there singing. I'm like, I don't know if he's coming back. I don't know if he can find the rope. Are we just taking my clothes off now? And I stand here naked and sing. I was ready.
That's a true performer right there. Whatever works in the moment.
Yeah.
Now, did Chris exit the stage in a cool way? Like, I was like, oh, this is meant to be part of the act. Or
I
just
think he thought it was cool, but I thought it was quite a fast
piss bolted.
departure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he
His
piss
bolted is a very apt description of it then. I like that.
Yeah.
Nice.
And Platts has lit it so it's, a spotlight and it's just him illuminated and it's meant to be this progression. So it was very obvious that I've turned to him and I'm like, I have that effect on men usually.
My hands are empty.
Yeah.
Nothing to offer you, so you
Nothing
must
is
leave.
in my sleeve.
A lot more jazz hands in that version.
No.
Oh, with
It's like,
Oh, I don't mind the occasional jazz hand, though, I have to say. Did he return with said role?
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
He still strung me up, but it was very fast.
oh, idiot's time.
Because we had like a
man.
table backstage. I just remember him going, move, 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 move.
And I saw the act the other night as well. It's nice and slow
Yeah.
and sultry, so it would be like a bit of a speed run, just really
yeah.
quickly.
Double time tying.
Yeah, nice. Okay, so a little bit
bit
more
of rush
hostage.
there.
Yeah,
Oh, was it?
yeah.
Yeah, nice.
It's a little rougher than usual.
Yeah, okay. I'm sure some people are into that as well.
Oh, I had a good time.
Oh, yeah. As long as you're enjoying yourself, the
I
audience
never
should enjoy
remember
themselves.
those. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay, so I think, number one thing to take away from that is make sure you come with all your props if it's a
Yeah.
prop deck as well.
Bring the rope.
Yeah.
All over your body. That Shibari one reminded me of something, an offstage story.
Oh, yeah.
It isn't embarrassing, but it's kind of funny. But I'll double check that I can put this in before you edit this. But hopefully
I'm
you
not
can get
editing this out.
Here we go. But we had a Rouge after party once, as we always do, and we're all sitting in the like kitchen of the accommodation in the nondescript state that we were in.
Okay, can you tell me a little bit about this after party as well? So presumably, as performers, you're in the 5-star Ritz. It's real glamorous. You've got like the
Totally.
penthouse suite. Is
yeah.
definitely not an
Forward.
Airbnb with
Yeah.
6 people stinking out a very small space.
Yeah,
With a shared space with peanut butter smeared on the cabinets and stuff like that.
Nondescript fluids everywhere.
Yeah. So was it the former or the latter of the kind of accommodation as well?
Bit of column A, bit of column B.
Oh, was it? Yeah,
Someone
okay.
put their column C in as well.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I don't think you get the deposit back from Airbnb with that.
Yeah. It's fine. It's under our producer's name.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. Do what you want then.
And at this after party, there was us and then another cast that had been in the same tent, and like we were just like, oh, we're going back for drinks, and we were sitting around getting pretty drunk.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then one of our cast members disappears with someone else who had come along. Just remember, where's X? And they're like, oh, down there. And I just remember this cast member popping open the door and sort of leaning out, sort of like, Paul. I was like, yeah, mate. You got your camera here? Yep. Do you want to just jump on in here? Yep, sure. So I go in, and this cast member is shibari'd up this guest.
Nice.
One takes for
Also an actual hostage as well then.
Yeah.
Taking a hostage.
Yep.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, all consensual.
Yes.
So, but like,
Having a
I
nice
was
time.
off my fucking face. They were off their fucking face, and the photos were amazing. Yeah.
All right, well, we'll pop them up on Instagram afterwards as
Yeah.
well then, yeah.
Like, they're like, oh. And then the funny bit is, like, when I went in, they were like, yeah, look, because we wanted to do a couple of photos. Tried selfies, but it just doesn't work on a phone. But, I see.
Yeah.
You need the good lighting,
Yeah,
you need a little
yeah.
further back than arm's length. Yeah, no, it makes sense.
Getting paid in exposure has a new meaning.
Oh, yeah, very nice. And I'm going to guess as well, having travelled a lot together and seeing each other in fairly compromised positions on stage, you're all pretty close with each other. Yeah.
You have to be.
That's
Like,
not, you're not used to seeing somebody
I believe
tied up and photographing them.
that was the tour when I waxed Lyndon's asshole
Yeah, yeah.
in front of the whole cast on the sofa
sofa.
Yeah,
after
it's just in the middle of the
breakfast.
day.
Oh,
Just
wonderful.
a classic
He was just
afternoon
like,
activity.
I
Had to be
need
done.
to do this.
Needs must,
And I was
yeah.
like, I'll help you.
Yeah.
One of the perks or the
Yeah.
hazards of the
Very
job, I
close.
imagine, as well,
Yeah.
depending on how you look at it.
For a lesbian, I see a lot of penis. A lot of penis.
Too much, or
Well,
Any's too much?
I've kind of become blind to nudity these days.
Yeah.
You just sort of that used to seeing everybody naked. That
Yeah.
it's like other people come and go, oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
They've got no clothes on. And I'm like, oh yeah, they don't.
Nervous.
Yeah.
It's a cop. That's like, is it a well-lit cop?
Yes, but
That's all I care about. Yes.
Can
Can you see it from the back row? I don't care what it
It
looks
needs
like.
to be visible.
Yes.
Even if we're seeing it for a split second,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
cock needs to be visible.
Yeah, exactly, right.
Customer.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. People paying a lot of money to see it, and you get paid to see it as well.
From the
Like
back
that.
as well, when he squishes it.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's what I wanted to check.
Yes.
Yeah, right. So, because Lyndon tucks it, next man giant and throws it from the back.
Lyndon's one of the other performers in the show as well. We should mention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And can you just say again what you said there?
Oh, so he does a bit where he tucks his penis and balls and whatever other growths he has between his legs, and then walks off stage so you can see it from the back.
Yes.
And then I think I would say to you
Yes.
yesterday, different people call it different things.
Yes.
So I wanted us to go around and say what we call it.
I would
or what you grew
absolutely
up
love
calling
that.
it.
Yeah. So the mangina would be I suppose, what you'd call it from the front,
From the front,
but
yeah.
what we would describe it from the back. So obviously, I'm from Scotland. We've got a couple of English guests here and Australian. Yes, perfect. So maybe we can go around. We can do a little bit of a explanation of what we know it as and maybe why it's known as that as well. I can start. So I've always known it as bulldogging. So it's like when you see the behind of a bulldog, it's just got its little balls back there. So I've always known that as bulldogging.
Oh my God.
Let's go with Platts. How about you?
Salad bowl.
Salad bowl.
Salad bowl. It's
I've
all about
never
the
heard that.
presentation.
Oh my god. There's a salad I would not like
Yum.
to touch.
Yum.
Yes.
All right, Holly, what did you call it?
I really knew salad bowls. I'm just laughing too much.
That's
you have
previous
a-
guest Holly in the background there.
Pardon?
Previous guest Holly in the background here as well.
Oh, what would I call it? I like bulldog though. Lucian, nothing comes really to mind rather
Yeah.
than squash royalty jewels, really.
Oh, they are a bit squashed in that position as well, yeah.
I grew up with it, and that's the end. No,
Oh.
I grew up with it being called a goat. I think for similar reasons, like how you see it from the back, and
Yeah.
it's very. I think as well, like it's just so like clumped together.
It's not a complimentary angle, I would have
No.
to say. It's not how you would want to show it off most times.
He fucking loves it. He comes off stage and he goes, "Paul, how's this one?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, you pulled it through quite well there."
Well done. That's gone far today.
Yeah. Congratulations, Lyndon, in that case, yeah.
Yeah.
And then finally,
Well, I didn't really grow up with it. You guys had different childhoods to me. 'Cause
Yeah,
I just
no,
had
probably.
sisters,
Yeah.
so I didn't
Okay.
really know what penises were until much later.
until too late in life.
Yeah, but having seen Lyndon's penis at least 40 times just in Queensland recently,
So we
from
say that's
behind, tucked
too many
into his
times
neck.
or enough times now, or
I
not
crack
enough
up
times?
because he's very funny, but also when he turns around, I'm like, it looks like he's pooing his dick.
I think that maybe right there as well. Jesus.
Oh my god.
Oh, they laugh so
Oh my god.
Visceral reaction I just had to that.
A streamer.
Oh,
Put a streamer, man.
Oh.
Come on.
This, I gotta
That's
know,
amazing.
this is a follow-on to Lyndon's anus. So there's a point in the show, the same point actually, where
Yes.
I run on and I dack Lyndon, which is where you pull someone's pants down.
that's pants or
Pants, yeah.
kegged.
And
Any
one-
Scottish listeners?
In the previous act, we throw ball pit balls with bits of streamers attached to them, so
Yeah.
they have a bit of a tail, and then Jesse whips them. He pulls it down, and he's got a blue streamer in his anus.
Oh,
A full tail hanging out of his butt crack.
on
And I'm just
purpose?
bitches, check this out. Come see.
And he
There's
moves in it.
And it's floating
Did he
around.
know it was in there?
This was the question, right?
He did put it in there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
But his thought pattern was he was about to walk on, he was stuck to his foot, and he went, "Oh, I'm going to put it in my butt,
Okay.
see if it works."
Yeah.
And that was
That tells you
sorry,
what
lost
about
for
how
words.
his brain works.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. It's.
Like, oh, I found this on the floor.
Oh,
It's going in my butt.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I'm glad there's people like that in the world.
Yeah.
But that's fucking artistry right
You learn
there.
more and more
yeah.
about you,
It's
Seb.
beautiful.
It's like how sharks mix things
Not
by
gonna lie,
biting.
anything good about it.
Shoves up his ass.
Shoves it up his arse.
Yeah.
That's it. It's like, I'll just test it like that.
Yeah.
So that didn't stay as a consistent part of the act.
No, he
No.
tried it again, but it floated away. It was like, I don't want to.
And then the thing is, I then had to go and pick
Oh,
it up.
of course.
Because it was
Like,
left
you
on my
usually
stage.
Get rid of everything off the stage in between the acts as well. Yeah.
Because it was stuck. You ever tried to sweep water?
Oh my god, yeah.
You have to pick it up.
Yeah. I've picked up some dubious things. We'll
Care
move
to
on to that
mention any
later.
of them? No, I think that's a perfect segue.
Oh.
Segway.
Did I just say segue? My God. Sorry, this yurt is very hot. Peek behind the curtain. I just recorded Holly's before this, and a lot of her stories just broke my brain as well. So I feel like my brain has turned to liquids. Yes. So I think I'm going to need to lie down after this. But yes, sorry. Segue.
Well, let me put it this way. A few years ago at Adelaide Fringe, because I'm on number 9 now. I'm back for number
Number 9.
Number 9 at
Oh my
Putney.
God.
Yeah,
Oh, you've
yeah.
got double digits next year. That's
Next year,
exciting.
yeah, it's my birthday next year, peeps.
Fuck yeah.
But I was working. There's a late night show called Shake It, which has an artist called Tara Boone,
Yes.
who a lot of people will have heard of. She's a very famous hula hooper, and
Past
foot juggler.
Rouge member as well.
She's an old cast member.
Yeah.
And she does this act called Popcorn, which if
I
you,
know this act.
if
This is
you
an
haven't
infamous act.
heard of Popcorn, she basically runs out on stage naked with
Yep.
a popcorn maker on her head.
Yep.
I then throw a cable at her, we plug her in, she pours popcorn into the top of said popcorn maker, starts doing a hula hoop act, but then of course it's not popcorn without butter
Yeah, of course.
and salt.
Of
So
course.
have to take her salt, have to take her butter.
Yeah.
But then when she's yelling for salt, let's just say she produces the salt from a very interesting area.
She doesn't need that handed from off stage.
No.
Come
She
equipped.
takes that with her.
Yes.
But in order to, have that in the orifice, that's in a condom. Now, the next morning, now bearing in mind I've had to remind Tara to clean up her condoms before.
On stage? Yeah, okay. Yeah, just checking.
Just on stage, just the professional ones.
Yes.
The next morning I'm in and I've got 2 shows. I've got Riot City Wrestling and this kids
great.
show, Dancing with the Stars. So my backstage is already chaos. I've got like 50 giant wrestling muscle-bound dudes like this.
Yeah, a lot
just
of,
like
lot of
dude
big
throwing
people
it
in that
around.
one, yeah.
And then 50 tiny schoolgirls all in little rows waiting for them to be able to use their dressing rooms. So there's already this weird little collision of humans backstage. And then this schoolgirl just turns around and goes, what's that? I turn around and I'm like, I instantly know what that is. And I instantly know that has been in Tara's vagina. But I've got wrestlers and school kids and so I just did what any good stage manager would do.
And that was...
Reached down and grabbed it with my bare hands. And I was like, I don't know what that is. It's rubbish. I'll put it in the bin. And you can see the wrestlers were pissing themselves.
Someone's left an old balloon animal here. Oh.
I didn't even have the decency to tie it off.
Right, exactly. And the schoolgirls definitely knew what it was.
Oh.
You know that thing, but then it was like, I could feel them all being like, she touched a condom with her hand. And you're like, yeah,
That's the appropriate thing to touch it with.
closest I've ever been to Tara Boom's vagina.
Yeah.
It's not a place I want to go again. I
Well,
love her too.
Tara, I have to say, we would like a public apology. They can, look, you're more than welcome. I've seen that act. It's a very entertaining act.
It's a
So you're more
great
than
act.
welcome to come on here, but we would require a public apology for that as well.
Yeah,
If you
I
could do
think
that,
so.
please.
I think so. My
Yeah.
hand has never been the same.
A pubic apology, yes.
Yeah.
All right, Paul's the comedian of the group as well, in case anyone's not noticed that yet.
Oh, it's a little bit funny, isn't it?
it's a little bit.
You makes a few jokes, don't you, mate? Oh, yeah.
Oh my dear. Swiftly moving on from whatever that was. Anything else come up from any other cast members we've had to collect off stage, or have we got some other stories?
I can carry on the genital through line with my 2
Yes.
penis ones. Well, one's a ball one. Oh, they're both ball.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
they're both ball.
Look, I was happy for a ball and a peanut. 2 ball ones, I'm not.
Well, my penis was next to the balls.
Okay, I'll allow it then. I'll allow it.
They both happened in straps. So when Lyndon and I do the duo straps routine.
So what's the straps? Or what are straps?
It's a piece of aerial apparatus. It's basically like 2... They're like seatbelt straps, but a little bit softer,
Yeah.
like cotton straps, like you would tie a truck down with.
Yeah.
So they're 2 separate things that hang from the roof,
Yeah.
or from whatever the rig is above.
Yeah, they have a loop on the bottom,
Yeah.
which you can put your hand through. Sometimes they have a keeper where you can like pull that down and it locks your hand in.
Oh.
Otherwise, you like wrap it around your wrist and yeah, it's sort of like you just. Oh, little.
Thank
You want
you.
it closer or?
Yes, perfect, thank you.
Oh, stop it!
Oh, dear me.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
Oh, dear me.
And then you like swing around and. Yeah, well, that's what
Well, that's what you do.
Yeah.
Other people trained in straps do some amazing tricks. I sort of swing around.
Paul swings around and then gets very close to kicking an audience member in the face every
Yeah,
night as well.
I've done that before.
That's his signature move.
Oh, is it? Nice.
Yeah, I always aim. I'm like, Linda, that way.
This person.
But yeah, like, so I wear like these small, sparkly, like Y fronts.
Yes.
And I don't wear a dance support because I didn't grow up in the dance world or train in dance. So I didn't. I was like, why do you need to? I just freeball it.
So once again, a dance support for anyone that doesn't know. We have mentioned this previously on the episodes before, but it's just a tiny little pouch for your cock and balls to sit in, so it doesn't look like you have cock and balls. It just smooths everything out. Then it's the most uncomfortable strap that goes up around the butt cheeks and the back, and then this massive bit of elastic that sits around your waist. I don't know, like they're obviously for a purpose, but I don't know why they design them so uncomfortably.
Yeah.
Very similar to like all women's underwear.
Yes, it is. There you go. Yeah. So yeah, if you want to feel how uncomfortable that is, go and buy one.
Is it?
Buy some nice women's underwear.
It's to take the shape out. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, so a lot of ballet
It
dancers.
keeps it all together
Yeah.
as a nice little package, and you can't see the shape of said cock
You
and ball
can't
through
differentiate from a cock or a ball. It's all just
It's
a
one
smooth.
beautiful
Yes.
little
Provided it stays in the dance.
Yes.
Well,
But
it's
it can't
very
get out.
tightly wrapped.
Like,
I'd be impressed if it could make its way out, to be honest
yeah,
with you.
yeah.
And I think that's why I was then told to wear dance sport because there's a bit where Lyndon and I both have our right arms wrapped up in the straps and then our left arm is free. So we like run across the stage past each other, jump off, and then swing towards each other and connect. So we're sort of in like a, well, how would you describe this? Like
a mid-air one-armed hug.
Yeah, shoulder to shoulder, and then we hook legs. And then I just remember when I hooked my leg, I sort of like opened my leg to hook it round Lyndon, and one ball just went out the side. I was like, oh. But then of course the elastic went and then trapped it outside. I was like, oh my God.
So first of all, I don't understand the physics of this. I've never had that happen with elasticated underwear. But again, I've never been in that position of flying through the air.
Wrapped up?
No.
Yeah, well then you
give that a shot tonight.
No, you can't.
If I'm able to come in like 5 minutes before you guys go up on stage, I'll give it a shot, see what happens. But,
oh, we got spares.
yeah. Oh, cool, perfect.
Yeah.
I'll just use yours.
Sweat,
But,
maybe it was sweat. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
Freshly shaved.
Slippery.
Yeah.
Talcum powder next time, I reckon. But yeah,
Yeah.
Cakey.
Yeah, just it's like a little that
clumps.
yeah.
But sorry, a rogue
Yes,
ball
so it
escape.
comes out and I was like, so we connect arms. I was like, Lyndon, give it, I popped the ball. He's like, what? I was like, let go. So we're spinning around here and I was like, whoa, my God, so sexy, as I'm trying to like pop this ball back
Pump a
in.
ball back into your underwear.
Ready again though, like thinking ahead, like, okay, so if it comes out again, what's the next point I can? Because if we're holding hands, but then I had a similar thing with my cock and balls, where someone from another show
Yes.
told me that they went to see another show.
Oh, a friend of a friend's cousin's uncle who works for Nintendo.
I don't want to drop anyone in. But apparently, and then he was like, all the male dancers, well, their penises were just like conical, like almost like, Madonna's bra from
Yeah.
And he said, well, how do you do that? And apparently they said they put cock rings around their cock and balls to just give them a bit of weight.
I believe it's called tying off in the
Tying,
industry.
yeah.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, right.
They did some use like a scrunchie or a hair tie. There's different ways to do it.
Well, I believe that this is perfectly alluding to what Paul did.
Well, it's funny you say that.
Yes.
Because I was like, fuck it, I'll give it a go.
Yeah.
So I was like, just before, because it goes bad things straps, I was like, yeah, okay, I'll do that, see what happens. And I'll get some notes back, feedback. So I was like, so I had long hair at the time. So I put a hair tie around my cock and balls.
Yeah.
Great. But as I'm walking around, it's fine, and then again jump on the straps. Dude,
These
I think
straps,
it's the movement of opening leg.
Yeah.
The straddle. It's that straddle.
And I think the reason you're going to use a
Just have
cock
some
ring...
cringing in the room whilst we're listening to this as well. Just now.
The reason you're meant to use like a rubber cock ring or a flat one is so that it doesn't move. But then this hair tie, as I went like that, it just sort of moved a little bit down.
So Paul's just motioning for everybody that's listening because nobody can see this.
Oh, yeah.
It just ever so slightly, I'd say maybe an inch forward?
No, it didn't fall off the end. No. It went like,
A couple of millimetres forward?
if that, yeah.
Yeah. And that's the difference between life and death in the cock and ball area.
Oh, I was like, this is how I sterilise myself. And it went up enough it didn't go past my ball enough to just like sort of,
Tie off the cock.
Yeah, it pushed one of my balls into my abdomen, which is any male identifying people or people who have testicles can attest to, can be the most sickly, uncomfortable feeling. Like when you go into cold water, it's like, oh, it's in me. You have to like poke it back out by pushing the top.
It's horrible. Anyone that has testicles out there I mean, you can understand it because it has happened to everyone that has testicles.
Yeah.
It is
Suck 'em up.
so uncomfortable. And I can only imagine something that's keeping it up there as well is fucking horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was making me feel sick, and then I just, while Linda was on the straps, I just reached down, took it out, and then I was like, I can't put this anywhere, I just flung it into the audience.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So some lucky person in the audience got your
If
crunchy.
it was in my venue, that means I probably fucking picked it.
Oh, but you get to keep all the fun things from the shows.
Oh, I do.
She's got a little like Jeffrey Dahmer shrine.
So
Use
you-
Everything
condoms.
that's ever been on your venue.
Yeah, that's a good point. Always practice sex stuff or performance stuff or the
by yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
don't do it just before. But you know what? The moment took me. I was like, I'm going to try that thing that person told me about.
And so, not recommended with a hair tie?
Nah, I wouldn't do it again.
No, okay,
10 out
yeah.
of 10 wouldn't do it again.
Do you
Yeah.
remember when my top fell off in Port Douglas?
Oh, so we
I
lost the
almost forgot
top.
about that.
Yeah.
Because I had a two-piece for the Ariel Singing Silks act, and it used to be a two-piece, and then COVID happened, and then I put on some weight because I ate bread, and then I made a one-piece.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
So a two-piece as in like a two-piece, like a bra and underwear.
Yeah, like a bra.
Yeah.
And I was like, most of my weight went into my boobs because
That's a good place to put it in all
play me in
fairness.
the movie. I know, how sad, you poor thing. So the bra was like really tight, but I had been doing the show for a while and I lost some weight. I was like, oh, it fits, it's fine. Didn't tag it.
Oh, okay.
Get to the top of the silk and all of the like clasps fall off. And I'm supposed to be being sexy, but Paul's taking my shoes off and spinning me in that version of the show.
Oh, yeah.
And he is meant to take off the shoes, but the top's coming off, so I'm like, I'll just come down and he can redo it up. So I come down and expecting him to be able to do up my bra, but my boobs were really big and he still couldn't get it on. So I end up like bent over. I'm no longer singing anymore. What else happened?
Wrenching the thing, just trying to get it on. I was like, couldn't work it out. And it just became more and more comical.
It just looked like you were fucking me in the ass, and I was
Oh,
holding onto the cell.
while you were
Because
singing.
I'm like this, and he's like, bend over, and you hear that onto the mic. And I was like, why do you need me to bend over?
Because you're mic'd up
was
at
in the
this
way of
point.
Yeah, my
Oh,
Something like that. I was like, and I was getting more and more panicked.
yeah.
that's great. So the silks again are very similar to straps, except they are made of silk.
Like hanging off two
Yeah,
buttons,
so you've got your hands indisposed of, presumably at the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you're mic'd up because you have to sing as well. So you're one of the only people that's mic'd up in the show, if not the only person that's mic'd up.
Yeah, apart from Paul has
When
dialogue,
Paul, when
and
he's-
sometimes Platts has dialogue.
Yes.
She's doing MC bits.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm the only person that has a singing voice. Yeah.
A live
So-
mic, yeah. So people get to say things into your ear, and the whole audience gets to hear it. So.
That's when you remember to wear it, Chrissy, you know?
Oh yeah, that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you know.
Do we like to just go raw dog then and sing without anything to the audience?
Look, the thing is, I
Edit
can
me
do
sing
it.
raw dog out there, I think. But yeah.
So if ever I forget to wear my mic, which has happened, or if the sound guy doesn't turn me on, which has happened,
All right, yeah, if you're listening, do
luck-
better.
luckily, it was just
We'll move on swiftly
Well,
from
like-
that part.
but luckily it's a classical piece, so it still carries. But if it was a contemporary piece, I'd be fucked.
In trouble. Yeah, that's why you should always sit in the front row for every show. Sit in the front row just in case.
Just in case,
Yeah, splash zone. Yeah, you can get it by.
It's like you'll raw dog it.
Yeah, if anyone's raw dogging singing, or if anyone's flinging out things from their genitals, then you can catch them as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might even be able to get a condom or
Yeah.
whatever else comes out of people. So yeah, you really
Yeah, I
can
don't know.
enjoy the arts.
Freebies.
Yes, close and personal.
DVD extras. That's cool.
Does
Oh,
the
is it?
salt in the condom dehydrate her vagina, or are condoms like very good at keeping?
Well, because it's a whole salt shaker.
Oh, it's a.
It's not.
It's not just a condom full of salt.
Okay, I was like, so it was
It's
like
a little
heroin.
fat
Just smuggling cocaine. Yeah. No, it's yeah.
Oh yeah, she's like brining
It's an
her
8-ball.
vagina.
Yeah, oh, nice. You're going to want to get searched for that on your way to the show. Although I presume you don't turn up to the show with it in. That's more of a backstage.
Hey, it's Tara,
It's
mate.
Tara. You never
Okay.
know.
If she didn't, then
I
she'd
feel so bad, Tara, if you are listening to this. You can come on and defend yourself at some point as well.
We love you.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Bad mouth her as much as you want in that case, yeah. So I was thrown off by me saying raw dog earlier, and that's all that's in my head.
Should we segue to something else?
Yes.
Hashtag segue, I've
So I
made
was
it.
actually going to bring up as well Paul's, I don't know, sordid past with the straps. So you've snapped part of your arm.
Snapped my
On that
bicep
one?
off.
Yeah.
My bicep tendon, where your bicep attaches to your forearm, snapped off.
Yeah, so that's pretty decent injury.
Yeah.
But there have been a couple of other little injuries in the show as well.
Oh, yeah. What do you remember the time when Naomi and
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I think you've talked about this before.
So
and
we have actually Michaela, the past guest as well, who is the occasional singer as well on Rouge, mentioned this one time where slightly unfortunate. Is it called a suicide drop?
Oh,
that one,
yeah.
yeah, like a mini suicide.
Mini suicide drop.
That was the Russian bar when she did it. When Naomi had her incident, it was Russian bar.
Oh, was it?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You said it was.
So there was one that I saw.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. It was definitely. It wasn't the 3 high suicide. It was.
Oh, it was. Oh, yeah. The chest manual.
There's a. Shall I try and describe this?
Yes,
There's-
please.
So the bass Maui is standing with his hands sort of like how you would hold a barbell. If you don't know how to do that, imagine you're trying to push a ceiling up. But
Yeah,
it's
but
like-
your elbows are really tucked in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the flyer is doing a handstand.
The flyer's so Maui's the base.
Yeah.
See if I'm getting these terms correct. And the flyer is generally the smaller person on top of someone else's shoulders, which does all the sick flips and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they do a hand-to-hand, clues in the title. And then they do this move called a suicide where there's a little bit of a pop movement, and then Naomi, the flyer, at this point, she goes towards the ground, but her legs are in a split.
Yeah. Plummets
then-
towards the earth, face first. As
Face
well.
first.
Yes.
And Maui, or whoever the base is, grabs him in a quick bear cuddle, like around the
At the
hips.
splits,
Yeah,
yeah.
so it like locks in. But on this particular day, whatever happened, it slipped a bit and she landed face first. Like, it's not that far, but it's still far enough that
Like
fucking
anything
hitting your face.
that's
Yeah.
landing on your face on the ground.
Yes,
It's
into
not
a wooden
ideal.
stage. It's
Yeah.
not fun.
No.
Not fun.
And it's like, I mean, it's better than concrete.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of other better things to land on, and not your head as well.
Without people watching as well.
Yes, yes. So this was the opening night down in Barwon Heads, if I'm
Yeah.
remembering correctly. Yeah.
And and it was like the last act. And so instead of finishing the act, they weren't sure if she was okay or broken up.
I rushed on,
Yeah.
took her off,
It was a
sort of
very
wrapped it
loud
up.
thud as well,
Yeah.
to the point where it was
Step was
like,
watching.
I was in the audience, one of my 5 visits. I'm hoping to get the
It's like a coffee card, yeah. Brilliant.
But
Yeah.
it was a very loud thud and deafening silence from the audience as well. Like, it was very clear it was not part of the show. And it was terrifying. Honestly, I was sitting there like, I just watched somebody get a permanent brain injury. Like, it was fucked.
Yeah, and she did everything wrong as well because she stood up and started to leave.
Yeah.
Which is like, I, as the circus stage manager, I'm like, no, I need you to lie straight down because your neck and your...
Yeah, you
please
want to
don't.
make sure that because you can break your
Shot,
neck for the most part, and then it holds together, and then one little tweak and it can fully break.
Oh,
Exactly.
damn.
Yeah.
so-
This is why we keep you stable.
Yeah.
Stabilize you and use the spinal cord.
But like, completely, she would have been in absolute shock.
Yeah,
so it's
totally.
nothing against
Also,
her.
she shouldn't have left the stage because then there's dead stage. You know, that's
I know,
terrible.
it's
for a
unprofessional.
Luckily, we got our professional, sometimes MC middling acrobat come on and
Oh.
saved the show.
Look, I didn't realise that anything had happened because I wasn't watching. And then Jesse,
So, Paul, can you tell us what was going on backstage with yourself instead of watching the show?
well, I always do post-show abs and push-ups because I come off and then I'm like, right, well, because everything in Rouge is pull.
Yes.
So I was like, this is where, and sometimes Jesse joins in. I'm like, right, through trio, I'll just do some quick conditioning while I'm walking. And so I'm there going, and Jesse doesn't deal well with panics.
Anything.
And she goes, whoa. I was like, fuck off, 304. I was like, what? She goes, get on stage, Mike, now. I was like,
Yeah.
oh. And to me, that was her going, Paul, you've missed your cue, get on stage.
Yeah.
So I go on and I said what I always say
Oh my
at the end,
God.
which was, all right, was that as good for you as it was for us?
Let me tell you, not a noise was made.
And I was like, fuck me, is it? Whoop,
It was
come around, this thing on.
Yeah.
Several hundred gaping mouths, like,
And this
What
was fairly close to after everything had opened up post the immediate lockdowns as well. So this would have been the first time a lot of people had seen shows in, I'd say maybe a year or two, and then that's how you end it, and then you come out and ask
Yeah.
people how they're all going, and
Just
did they enjoy
completely
that.
oblivious,
So,
yeah. And I just carried on, I didn't address it.
no.
Yeah.
Classic
And then-
bit of MCing. It was real good.
Yeah, I was like, sweet, bowed, all
Yeah.
happy and whatnot. And then the others were like, and then I remember because our producer was watching,
Yes,
she came on afterwards and grabbed the mic and was like, nah, obviously that
that
wasn't
doesn't
to
usually happen. Yeah.
And I was like, oh.
Something happened.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, if Jesse had been more on it and more eloquent, then we would have, yeah.
You
So
were
Jesse, I
doing
presume
your
you're
vanity
listening. You're getting
push-ups
called out
backstage.
here.
Injury. There's been
Yeah.
an injury. Get on stage.
Yeah.
Look, you've
Yeah,
got some
go.
sick abs, but you also need to tell Paul that you can't be doing sit-ups with him backstage. You need
Exactly.
to tell Paul needs very specific instructions.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he will just go on.
If possible, draw a picture for him
Yeah.
in crayon so that he
Yes.
That is funny you say that because for a while in QPAC we were this. If you're in the industry, this is unprofessional. Don't do it. There was a whiteboard backstage, and
Oh
my
we got so
God.
used to the show and knew your timing exactly.
Don't
We
tell
just
the
don't hang
story.
there.
It makes
Oh, did
me
you?
sound bad. Oh my God.
But honestly, that happens all the time. When you get so used to a show, and I've done runs of shows as well, where you're just like, I'm so comfortable doing this now, it's time to have fun.
Yeah.
And otherwise you just lose your mind, because otherwise you're just spending time with all these people that like you love, hopefully, sometimes you tolerate, and you're so in each other's spaces, you all kind of just lose your minds collectively together. So I think playing hangman is one of the least things to do, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, Sophie started licking my boobs, so
Okay, yeah, see,
Backstage
I
thing
guess
to do.
hangman. Yes,
Yeah.
what she would do.
Right.
yeah, just a bit of backstage cleaning there.
Yeah.
That was like when we were in Queensland tour during lockdown, not during lockdown, but like during COVID time. We went to a venue that sometimes we go to regional venues that don't have much tech or anything, which is fine.
Yeah.
And so it was like in like a basketball court.
my God.
And basically we had to do our own sound from backstage. So we're like, all right, so we just
okay.
literally plugged a Mac into the sound system. And we just worked out who's off stage, who presses go. And there's a bit where Lyndon comes on as lampshade and goes, hit it! And the music comes on.
Yeah.
It's like, of all the cues to give, hit it.
Yeah.
You can't make it more obvious, right?
Right.
And he went, hit it. Starts dancing, and he's not a good dancer anyway, so the cover was never going to be. Hit it again. Nothing. Third time, then it worked.
Wow.
And we were backstage, and it was another acrobat who's been in it called Flip Lannon. And we're like, what happened? She was like, I'll be honest, I was on YouTube. She was just sitting there watching a slow motion bit. To be fair though, she showed us the video she was watching. It was a super slow-mo, high frame rate of a gymnast doing some mad tumble, and we're like, see how you get distracted.
Yeah.
But she was just like, hit it. I'm so sorry. I'll hit it now.
Also, it probably maybe 5 seconds of no music, which when you're on stage, it is a lifetime. I had actually a couple of years ago during Adelaide Fringe, I was doing a show, and there was a middle part which was like this big movement dance piece, and there was like no talking or anything during it. It was all movement, and this music played over the top, and then the entire music just stopped, and we just stood on stage, and we're like, it's the end of the song, and we're not like this movement bit had somewhere to progress to, and we had to be in those positions to end it, and then we just kind of like, okay, and then we just started eating noodles. Like a food thing. And we're like, oh, these noodles are so great. And then
Oh gosh.
that was a consistently, like, the tech just kept missing all the cue lines, and like it throws you. I tell you that much, it really throws you.
Oh man.
Dead stage is the word.
And it feels like an eternity.
Because you don't know if they're coming on or they're
Yeah.
late. There's one in the very first iteration of Rouge when I was in the fire act with Chris to like catch his wands and stuff.
Yeah.
And before he does his fire spinning and eating, he's meant to dip it into the fuel.
Yeah.
So it's fresh and then come on. And he hadn't dipped it. So the act starts, and I'm there, and he's not there. I was like, oh my God. And all I had was I had a spare lighter because sometimes his
Doesn't work.
So I was like, and it lived in my pants, so I just took it out and I just started going while walking around the stage. And people were like, oh, he's going to do fire. But they kept going. They're like, oh, it's just a lighter.
Just a little boy with a lighter.
And then Chris came on and I was like, okay.
Oh, thank God.
I was like, motherfucker, let's go. Yeah.
Oh God, those moments are terrifying. Because like what you're saying, like it's fine afterwards, but in the moment you're like, do I have to try and fill this now?
Yeah.
I'm prepared. But this is terrifying.
Yeah.
It's so long as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're coming somewhat close to the end of the podcast now, but I know you've come in with so many different stories, so let's try and do a
Right.
quick fire round of a few of them.
Because some of the others sent some in.
Platts, you must have another one.
Well, maybe whilst Pat's looking at his phone,
Talk us about.
maybe we can
tell
hear
us
about
the
this
stage.
next show.
What do you mean about the stage form?
Well, I mean, like, have you ever left the stage unintentionally?
Oh my.
Off the proper exits of the stage or
Oh,
off the
I-
side of the stage?
I may have done a very lovely disappearing act in
Oh.
Edinburgh Fringe one year
Well, it's been filmed.
while it was being filmed.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, so long story short, in Edinburgh we had really crazy turnarounds, and it was the classic thing of people having different stages. So
Yeah.
the stage would get taken in and out between shows, and somebody had not put the white tape back around the edge of the stage.
Okay, so the white tape's just something there to sort of show where the actual stage is.
Where the
'Cause
stage
especially,
edge is.
yeah,
Yeah.
when the lights go down, you're just in pitch black.
Can't see. You
Yeah.
can't see. So the white edge keeps us safe, lets us know where the edge of the stage is. And after whips, I have to run on with a broom and clean up and chase this idiot around for a minute.
Yeah.
You know, just clean up all the mess that's left on stage after whips. And I'm doing my standard little clean up and walking backwards, and then I disappeared.
Oh, that's a good act.
Yeah,
So a little bit of magic in there as well.
Literally
Yeah, nice.
gone. And these two are dying on stage. I'm dying on the floor on my arse, and I've never jumped back up onto a stage quite so quick in my life.
Yeah.
I think.
And you were fine as well.
Oh, totally
Some of
fine. I
those-
just totally landed on my butt. It was one of those, but oh my god.
I think it's funny because she wears all black.
Yeah.
Show blacks. So like it wasn't like we saw this multicolored blur. You were just there and then you
Thank
were.
God. And then I was back. I was like,
Proper magic show then, yeah.
yeah, illusionist.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Yeah.
very impressive.
Didn't I get the mop?
Oh, really?
I still had the broom in my hand.
Fuck, that's a professional right there.
That's it. But I did.
Mary Poppins.
I just wanted to die. I just really wanted to die. The entire audience.
But you almost did.
Yeah.
Could have been way worse, but some of those stages, they're down on
Yeah.
proper hardwood flooring, like that can really fuck you up.
Yeah,
So,
I was
yeah.
lucky. I
Yeah.
was lucky, and I made sure that they put the white lines on the edge of the stage every
That was very polite of them after that, isn't
Yeah.
it? A bit of a shame it came to that, but yeah.
Yeah.
Very nice of them. We've had a couple of people fall off stage this season as well. We're currently during Adelaide Fringe as well. This will be released after the run of Rouge, unfortunately, but they're doing all right. They don't need help from ticket sales from this podcast. But we've had a couple of people disappear off stage the wrong way this run, haven't we?
I think we've all done it. Basically.
Oh, yeah?
Because like the way the stage is, there's like a little corner.
Was it
I walked
weird?
backwards in burlesque and then sort of badly rolled out. You had a bad one though, didn't you? When you hurt yourself.
Chris, well, at the end of Shibari, Chris carries me off like a little baby being cradled, which is adorable.
That's not what I pictured,
A
but
little
I can
tied
see
up
that
baby.
now.
A little tied up sex baby. This was.
Editing that part out. Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
You know, like he's
Knew
tied me up and then he carries me up.
Yes.
And he's never dropped me before, but Chris is quite a lot bigger than me and he's a muscly guy.
He is a
and
muscly boy.
He, just the way the stage was cut, I don't know why people are getting fancy with the stage. Make a square, motherfuckers. Big square.
Yeah.
But no, they have to make it look like a dick. So anyway,
It
he's
really does. That was my first thought when I came in last
With a
time. Yeah.
massive knob.
Yeah.
So he's carrying me off the knob to the shaft, and he falls and just drops me onto the stage, and his whole weight goes onto me.
Oh.
But I've got the big steel thing that I'm sort of. What's that
marine ring.
called?
It's a marine ring.
marine ring.
Oh, that's
So
right.
he's dropped me, and I'm holding the ring, and it's
Whoa.
like it sounded like a car crash. And then he just gets up and again piss bolts. Like, I'm in heels, so I get up and I go this little bit teetering off. That
Baby
really
has
hurt.
to take herself away, but yeah.
That sucked. And the lights came on, so the audience is seeing the sexy act and then just like hobbling off.
Platts is like quick lighting.
Yeah, like
Work
That's
happening.
like spot.
Spotlight.
Comedy.
Yeah.
Kiss, kiss.
You're welcome, motherfuckers.
Did we have some of those aforementioned stories and then we want to finish off with some of the quick fire ones?
No, I think those are the
No,
only,
we didn't want
the
any
other one
other
was like we once did a really embarrassing gig, which was for the Geelong Medical Board.
Oh, this is perfect. Well, I
And,
don't know if we wanted to name names there, but we have now, so
For
Can you beep it?
I
yeah,
can, but I'm not going to. I don't. I've heard the story as well. I don't think they're going to rebook you. as well.
yeah. It's,
I don't think
it
so.
wasn't
Yeah.
like we didn't do anything bad. But like it was someone had booked us for it, and it was a fundraiser. So it
Yeah.
was a sit down. It was daylight, which is never fun doing.
So
Really.
this is what's known as a corporate in the industry as well.
Yeah.
So a lot of gigs, we've had some comedians on in the past on this show as well, and they do corporates as well. We get circus or variety acts or anything like that, and it's always a very interesting space to perform in.
Yeah.
Most of the time it's people that don't know what's going on there, it's people that are work together, so they're, I mean, especially for Rouge, when you're a little bit more tantalising, you're probably not going to be like, oh, I see someone's butthole. Look at that.
Yeah.
Taken straight to HR. But yeah, like, it's always a strange environment.
And because they're not necessarily there for the entertainment. The entertainment's just there because it's part of it.
Yeah.
And also, if it's sit down, then it's almost sometimes
Food,
background
yeah.
entertainment.
Yeah.
And like, especially with Rouge, where we talk and like you have to sort of get to know us a bit to be like, oh, I get it.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, and also the backstage was across the dining hall. So to get on stage, you had to go through all these people.
Oh.
And so we do our opening act, and then the first act after that was me doing the burlesque bit where Tearaways come off.
Nice.
I'm doing it to ASAP Rocky.
Nice.
And then people like sort of clapping, but also sort of chewing their cheddar tarts. And then we're on the backstage getting ready for this. And obviously Rouge gets more and more racy as it progresses. So you like warm up into it. So for that,
More
that's
and more
low
racy,
level.
less and less clothes.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah.
And then one of the staff comes in, bursts through and goes, okay, quick question. There's no more nudity, right? We're like, You'll kick yourself. You're gonna be gutted. So we were like, on the fly, we just did it all, just with more clothes on. It's just one of those ones where you go, the fuck am I doing with my life?
Yeah.
But I'm just
Because you had to wear clothes.
Just because everyone, you could see them, they could see you, and
they were very upset.
and they were like,
you're a daylight as well.
Yeah.
Presumably,
Yeah.
ties across the room, which is never comfortable.
yeah.
But yeah, well, corporates always pay well at least. So,
It's true.
That was volunteer.
oh, was it?
No.
What?
Fuck, maybe I do need to bleep this. Oh well,
It was
thank
good
you.
exposure.
Yeah, perfect, exactly.
You
So they've all
exposed yourself.
rebooked you as well, I presume, for the future. Yeah.
Indeed.
I think we're probably going to wrap this up here,
Right.
but I quite want to hear. We were alluded to the story at the start about lighting a sex show. Do we want to finish on that
All right, we'll
Yeah.
finish.
one?
We'll finish.
We
with
don't have to, but I don't want to
Yeah,
leave the
yeah,
audience.
Oh, of course, we can't leave.
He definitely wants it.
Do a sex show.
So yeah, basically, when I'm not on tour with big shows like Rouge, Bernadita's Club Cabaret, Le Clique, things like that, I sometimes help out in a queer space in Melbourne and go and volunteer my time and
Oh, fantastic.
go and, just give a little back to my community.
Yeah.
And I got this phone call that was like, "Oh, Platts, we've got this event that's been booked, and it's a straight singles hookup night sort of thing. Would you mind? They've got lots of little promenade things that they want to do around the space, so they want they need lighting and they need a tech."
Yeah.
So I was like, "Cool, no probs. I'll come in and work this out." So I did, and I spoke to the artist, and it's like, "Oh yeah, we're going to do like a stripper pole routine over here, and we're going to do this over there, and there's this rugged area that needs lighting." I'm like, "Yep, no problem." And then when all the patrons arrived, I noticed it was less of a singles hookup. There was a lot of couples. can I say.
Okay.
A lot of couples for a singles hookup.
Okay.
Sort of
So we
event.
maybe didn't get the most information beforehand of what this event may or may not have been.
And
Okay.
it's, that thing of like every act that had been described to me was there was just a little less clothes and a lot more teasy things going on.
Okay.
And,
Okay, easy.
And then we got
I'm
to
intrigued.
the final act of the night,
Oh.
and I'm standing by. And I've got got the light. I'm busking lights in rhythm to the music.
Oh,
so
nice.
it creates the
Impressive,
atmosphere. And
impressive.
these two naked ladies wander out from the dressing room area.
Your worst night?
Oh yeah, I hate that. I really,
How dare they?
yeah, it's shocking. I'm like, oh, here we go, fun time. And then they proceeded to lay down on the rugged area, and then proceeded to start fucking, basically. And I'm just like, oh, I'm lighting a sex show. I'm lighting a sex show. And I've just got to keep going as long as they keep going, because I've started this thing now.
Did you
and
bump to their rhythm?
yeah, well, to the music. So I'm like, I'm busking to the music, but
Trying to influence their rhythm as well at the same time.
I'm just, when that thought goes through your head, that they always say in this industry, you're only as good as your last gig. And I'm just like, wow.
And you fucking killed that
Wow.
gig, so yeah.
Right. So yeah, that was the time I accidentally lit a sex show.
Brilliant.
Oh,
Honestly, though, sometimes those kind of shows are a lot more interesting than some of the other shows that you do.
yeah. It's pretty fringe. That
Yeah, no.
experience. It was,
That is very pretty.
yeah, very fringe. Very
Yeah.
fringe.
Oh, well, thank you all so much for coming on. All of the
Thanks, Em.
Rouge cast and the crew that decided to turn up. No, joking. Thank you for everyone. I understand
Got
the very
the
busy time of
A-team.
year. The A-team, yes. Well, we'll get the B-team on maybe at some point. I'll see.
Yeah.
But yes, would you like to spook your show? I know that this is going to be released after we've finished our Adelaide run, which was outstanding success, I have to say. I came to see it on the opening week, was it last week? Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. So whenever Rouge is in your town, and they always are, they're everywhere, all at once. But yeah, they're incredibly good performers and a great show. So definitely check them out. Where can we find you?
Well, on Instagram, it's at Rouge the Show.
Yep.
And if you like Rouge, then our company, our producers' company, is called Highwire Entertainment. So they do a lot of stuff as well. So check them out. Or the website is rougeshow.com. So you can get cast bios, music, merchandise, tour dates.
You have your Patreon on there as well.
Patreon's linked to that.
Patreon's linked to that.
Yeah, so go and chuck on a couple of
Yeah.
subscriptions. Why not? If you enjoyed this.
But yeah, Instagram and website. best place too.
Beautiful, and that'll have all of the upcoming shows when they're released throughout the year as well, and
Yeah.
not just Australia as well. You're usually over for the Edinburgh Fringe, you're over in London every now and again.
Chrissy has her own show as well.
Oh yes, okay, Chrissy, please do tell us.
It's called Wonderfully Terrible Things.
Wonderfully Don't
Don't
I'll
hang on.
take that again.
It's a beautiful
Wonderfully
mouthful.
Terrible Things, yes. And where can we find that?
You can find that on Instagram at Wonderfully Terrible Things and the website by the same name. And where is it going to be next? It's going to be at Wynnum Festival. Did I say it right?
Yeah, Wynnum.
Wynnum?
Wynnum?
Yeah.
Never heard of Wynnum before,
Me
but that sounds
neither.
great.
But, like,
Oh.
we're kind of a big deal there. No, just anywhere I
You're
can
welcome
look, I'll
in
go.
that case. Yeah. And do we have some personal Instagrams or anything we want to share? People can find you. No, apparently not. No.
I don't think anyone's going to look for me. But
Oh, don't be like that. All right, what's your personal then?
at Cirque Songstress.
At Cirque Songstress
Yeah.
on Instagram,
Yeah.
Twitter, Facebook.
No,
any
I
of that
don't
stuff?
quit. I'm
No.
too old.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is
Tweet.
awful.
Really?
None of us
Yeah.
do that as well. Paul, where can we find all of you?
At Paul Westbrook Actor.
And we've got
Instagram.
a cheeky little business as well.
Oh yes,
Needs
and
any-
at Late Cut Media, which is photography, videography, and if you can guess why it's called that, I'll give you a free photo shoot.
Yeah, message me, I can tell you why. So everyone's getting a free photo shoot. And Platts, would you like to give out any of your socials?
Yeah, I'm on Insta. I'm at the Sarah Platts, and that's my pro account that you'll find all my stupid circus gubbins.
Or we can find you in a dingy rugged room.
Oh yes.
Yes.
Sexual lighted, then please do get in touch.
Get in
with
touch.
Platts. Yeah.
I'll make you look real good.
Yeah,
I know
exactly.
the gel numbers to make naked back in the ring.
A bit of RBG, as they say in the business. Yeah.
They named the light after you called a parka.
On that note, I think we're going to have to finish. So, as always, you can find us on Won't Be Forgetting That Pod across most of the socials. Myself, you can find me on Seb Muirhead, MUIRHEAD, across Instagram and Facebook. I don't really use that much, to be honest with you, though, but you can give it a like. And also, as always, if you liked this show, if you liked any of the episodes, give us a 5-star rating, write a little review as well. It's always really appreciated. But again, thank you very much. Half of the cast and crew, Rouge.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Thank you, Seb.
Bye.